In a world where animated comedies often stick to the script, Long Story Short dares to break the mold. And in doing so, it crafts a story that's as emotionally raw as it is hilariously absurd. Created by Raphael Bob-Waksberg, the genius mind behind BoJack Horseman, and brought to life by artist Lisa Hanawalt, this Netflix series takes a winding, time-jumping road to explore what it means to be part of a Jewish family in the San Francisco Bay Area. But here's where it gets controversial. Instead of a straightforward narrative, the show leaps across decades, from the mid-20th century to the pandemic-era 2020s, leaving you to piece together the Schwooper family saga like a jigsaw puzzle. Sound confusing? Don't worry. The payoff is worth it. And this is the part most people miss. The real magic lies in how the show uses this fragmented timeline to ask big questions about grief, identity, and the messy, beautiful chaos of family life. At its core, Long Story Short isn't just about being Jewish. It's about being Jewish in a way that's rarely seen. While countless TV shows touch on Jewish culture, this one dives deep into the religion, rituals, and debates that define a community without a central authority. Imagine a show where a Yom Kippur episode doesn't just make you laugh about guilt-ridden fasts, but actually makes you cry over the weight of atonement. That's the kind of emotional depth Bob-Waksberg and his team bring to the table. The Schwoopers, matriarch Naomi, Lisa Edelstein, patriarch Elliot, Paul Reiser, and their three kids Avi, Shira, and Yoshi, Max Greenfield, become a lens through which we see the spectrum of Jewish identity. From kosher kitchen debates to interfaith tensions, the show treats these topics with a mix of humor and sincerity that feels refreshingly human. But let's talk about the characters, because this is where the show truly shines. The Schwooper clan feels like your own extended family, complete with all the quirks and conflicts that come with it. Avi and Shira, Abby Jacobson, share a sibling bond that's equal parts love and eye-rolling. While Yoshi remains the eternal baby, forever out of sync with his more settled siblings. Naomi, the archetypal Jewish mother, is both hilarious and heartbreaking, her over-the-top concern masking a deep well of love. Elliot, the hippie-turned-academic, is a bit of a blank canvas, a role that begs for more exploration in Season 2. And let's not forget the show's surreal touches. A cutthroat corporate climber works at a Chuck E. Cheese rival called BJ Banana Fingers. A classroom is literally overrun by wolves. These absurdities aren't just for laughs. They mirror the real-world absurdities the characters navigate, like pandemic-era school closures and the existential dread of growing older. What makes Long Story Short stand out isn't just its subject matter, but how it tells its story. Each 25-minute episode, yes, like BoJack, they're all the same length, starts with a vignette from one timeline before shifting to another. Sometimes it's a flashback that explains a modern-day conflict. Other times, it's a parallel thread that slowly weaves into the larger tapestry. This structure means you're never quite sure what to expect. And that's the point. By the time you reach the opening credits, a haunting montage of family photos set to soaring violin music, you'll understand why this show feels like a modern-day Fiddler on the Roof. It's a love letter to the cycles of life, the ties that bind us, and the messy, glorious act of being part of a family. Now here's the elephant in the room. Long Story Short avoids tackling the hot-button topics of Israel, Palestine, and Zionism. At first, this might feel like an omission, especially in a time when Jewish identity is so often tied to these debates. But the show makes up for it by diving into everything else that makes Judaism rich and complex. In a moment when many are arguing about what it means to be Jewish, Long Story Short offers a refreshing counterpoint. There's no one-size-fits-all answer. Naomi's insistence that she's figured it out clashes with her daughter Kendra's, Nicole Byer, view that Jewishness is a spectrum, and that tension feels authentic. It's a reminder that identity isn't a monolith, and that's exactly what makes it so fascinating. Looking back, BoJack Horseman was a product of a different era, the golden age of Netflix, when streaming services were willing to take risks on bold, 6-season-long experiments. Bob-Waksberg's subsequent projects, Tuca Birdie, Undone, didn't get the same luxury, but Long Story Short feels like a rebirth of that creative freedom. Netflix has already greenlit a second season, which is a small miracle in today's cost-conscious streaming landscape. But even if the show's run is short-lived, it's already packed a full, cathartic journey into its 10 episodes. As they say in the Jewish tradition, Dayenu, it would have been enough. So, what do you think? Is Long Story Short a welcome return to the kind of storytelling that dares to be different? Or does it shy away from the harder conversations? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let's discuss. All 10 episodes are now streaming on Netflix, so what are you waiting for?